Hello, it's me again. I actually kind of forgot to actually talk about the music on my last clip. I was going on and on about my whole Backstreet Boys adventure, but I didn't go into too much detail about the actual live show. And overall, it was a cool experience. Like I said, I got a really good spot. We were sitting on the bleachers. We were maybe like, not at the very bottom, but we were like 2 or 3 seats up. We got a good view of the stage. I did get kind of screwed a little bit because fucking camera boom's like right here. So every once in a while, I had to go like this to completely see them or record my really bad video. But it was a good experience. Like, I kind of, they did 4 songs. They did Larger Than Life, Everybody, Incomplete, and of course I Want It That Way. And like I said, I was lucky enough to see the sound check, and it was amazing. Like, I've never been to a sound check, and it was kind of cool. Like, it's a sound check. Of course, the technical people have to come out and check all the instruments and stuff. And there was a stupid girl behind me that was complaining that they were taking too long, talking about put the important people on stage. That's why we're here. And I looked at her and I'm like, okay, dumbass. I know you want to see them. We've been out all night, but you got to think. They're out there to make sure that when the boys do come out, we can hear them. And you ranting and raving makes things worse. And her voice was like super annoying, and she was one of them idiots that it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I think iPads and Kindles are cool and stuff, but it's like fucking huge. It's like the size of a DVD, case. And it's kind of annoying that you're trying to take a picture and you're like this. You don't know how stupid you look. It's called use a camera or use your cell phone that has a camera in it, It's very annoying. But that's a whole nother story, and I digress. So anyways, she was kind of annoying. But then, the guys did come out, and they did sound checks. They were actually making jokes and stuff. Like, Nick was being Nick. Like, I used to not think he was attractive. Like, it's kind of weird of me to say that. I thought he got cute when he got older. Like, he lost the weight. He got, into fitness, and, he got kind of cute, and he kept taking off his jacket because I guess he was probably thinking what a lot of us were thinking. It's like the end of August, so summer, and you're wearing a leather jacket, so he would take it off to rehearse and stuff. And then also AJ, was singing like a random mid-90s song. Like, I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but it was like, I believe love will find the answer. Like, I sound terrible. That's what he was singing. It was actually kind of funny. And Brian joined in. Brian being Brian. And, it was awesome to see Kevin. Like, he looked amazing. Like, he had on, like, a nice blazer and dress shirt and jeans. And the man looks good for, like, 40-something. Like, I've always thought he looked good. Like, he's always been my favorite for years. He's my first love. But, it was cool, and he was super humble, super sweet. He sounded like, to hear all 5 of them together, it was amazing. Like, I could never bring myself to accept them as a quartet. Like, I didn't buy the album when Kevin left. Like, I couldn't bring myself to it. Like, I didn't go to a show. My cousin Tiffany's been to a couple, and she just said, something sounded missing. Like, when Kevin was in the group, they were more R&B, more, pop-ish, but they sounded more polished. But when he left, it just sounded like the element was missing. Like, no offense to Howie, like, I think Howie's really cool, but he started doing Kevin's parts, and it just didn't feel right, and their sound became more watered down, adult, temporary, which is nothing wrong with that. They're adults, all their fans are adults. They're just, trying to go with the sound that relates to their fans. But it just, to me, felt like it didn't feel right. But it was so nice. And I understand why Kevin left, He's in a place in his life where he felt like he wasn't felt like. Actually, I came across an interview like 2 years ago. He did an interview with this guy named Tony Sweet out in LA. Like, I could try to find a way to link the video to fans that want to listen to it. Like, anybody's ever gonna watch this video, but he was promoting this movie that he did called The Casserole Club, and he was actually promoting another movie that he did, which isn't out yet, but The Casserole Club. I actually have it. It's right here. It's actually a pretty good film. It's like an indie film, and it's actually kind of cool. And he explained why he left the group, and he explained you know, how he got into acting. He basically put his side of the story, and, you know, there was no hard, you know, how we all know there was no hard feelings with the group. He just felt like his life was taking him in a different journey. So, like, I respect that about him, and that's kind of cool. But, you know, it's cool to see them all five together. Like, you know, it was nice to hear him sing his part, and I want it that way. Like, everybody, like, flipped out. Like, I almost cried, basically. And, you know, he actually teared up, too. It was so sweet. Like, when he saw the crowd, and, like, his son was in the front, had a little sign, and, you know, everybody, there was actually like a group of girls that were singing "We Love You, Kevin" in the tune of "We Love You, Conrad" from Bye Bye Birdie. And I think he maybe heard it and he just teared up. It was like awesome. And so, like, they did everybody and they did the dance. You know, it was kind of cool. And it's kind of weird though, because I didn't know this happened, because, you know, I was actually at the show. But when you watch it back, when everybody was their last song, so when they did everybody, it got cut off because, you know, Good Morning America is only like 2 hours long, and, like, you know, concert can only get crammed in. So when they were doing everybody, they cut it off. So I was fortunate enough to see, you know, everybody, like, the whole set. Although it's kind of weird because I felt like I think Larger Than Life maybe been the first or second song. I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember what order it came in. And it's kind of weird that Larger Than Life sounded a little bit better in soundcheck than it did live. But, you know, they did, you know, you can't do every song, like, perfect. You're doing the song over and over again. They did it numerous times during, you know, the sound check. They did, you know, God knows how many times they did it at the rehearsal the night before. I could have loved to went to that, but I'm sorry. I love the guys to death, but I'm not paying $250 just to watch you rehearse and maybe get a question asked, which I know I probably wasn't going to get that, you know. But, you know, it was kind of overall good show. Like, Larger Than Life was okay. Everybody was cool. Incomplete was cool. Like, I forgot how much I actually liked that song, and I forgot that it's actually a really good album. Like, it's funny that once I got home, I actually looked for my Never Gone CD, and it's actually a really good album. It's underrated, actually. And although it's kind of weird during Incomplete, like I said, soundcheck was perfect, but I don't know how they like it's kind of weird that maybe it happened during, like, because I was super tired. I think it may have it actually happened live during Incomplete. In the beginning, when AJ was singing his part, the sound kind of went out, but it was awesome that everybody was singing along. And then Nick's sound was going in and out, but like I said, everybody was singing along. So by the time they got to the chorus, everything's back to normal. But it was just cool that, you know, they were professional. They kept going. They kept singing. And it was cool to see, like, so many people dedicated to that music because, you know, they've been together for almost 20 years. And it was so cool to be around my peers, like, people that actually love the music, too. So that was cool. And overall, it was a good experience. Like I said, I'm going to go see them when they come out on tour. Excited about the new CD. I hope Kevin's more vocally involved. I hope so, because the man has a good voice. You know, it's not, you know, the best, but, you know, nobody's the best, but he has a good voice, and I felt like they should have used him a lot more, especially, you know, recording in the earlier times and stuff. But overall, it's great to see them all back together. It's great that things are, I guess, quote-unquote, back to normal. And, you know, it's cool that there's never been any hard feelings towards them, and it's great to see them back together. And I can't wait for tour to come, like, for them to come on tour, the new CD to come out, and they get their star on the Walk of Fame next year. Like, so 2013 is going to be a great year for them. And, you know, overall, it was a cool experience, and yeah, it was great.